Hey there, my conscious celestials. My name is Natasha Lauren, and I'm here to help you consciously create the life that you desire. So, let's get straight on to part 3 of Manifesting Love, this Manifesting Love series, etc, etc. I'm so proud of you guys already. I hope that you are already starting to see like changes within your reality, within your 3D, etc, etc. And yeah, just a little recap of like the past 2. Obviously, in the first part, you should know by now, or you should have at least seen by now, that the content of your mind, what you generate within, what you feel, what you focus on, what you expect, etc, etc, is what you are experiencing, and is the reason why you were in the current situation that you were in, and that has led you to come to these videos and to come and get guidance, etc, etc. I hope that obviously from part 1 you were able to see how you were generating and sustaining that, and then obviously from part 2 now we focus on generating love, generating the feeling of love, generating of the feeling of love within, abandoning things that don't make you feel love, etc, etc, and making sure that you are generating that love for yourself and by yourself, and not relying on others. Now, for this part, we're going to go a bit deeper into that and deeper into the self-love, because the foundation for any form of love for you to experience in your life is from you. Love is never from outside. Love is never going to come from outside if you don't generate it within. You're always going to be trying to fill a particular void if you are looking outside of you, or if you are looking for things outside of you to make you feel loved, etc, etc, to experience love and all that kind of stuff. You can only experience what you generate within. It's just only going to be reflected back to you, and the law does not lie. Having done part 2, having hopefully like generated feelings of love, etc, etc, you should start to see, or at least continue to generate it, and you will start to see that reflected back to you, because like I said, the law does not lie. The law cannot lie. It can only generate and reflect back to you whatever you are doing, experiencing, feeling, etc inside of you. So to go deeper into self-love, I want to talk a little bit about self-love, about what it is, what it isn't, and how you can work on, and how you can generate, and how you can improve your self-love to manifest love in any aspect. But like I said from part 2, the focus first has to be on you. The focus first and always has to be on you. We have to start there. There's no, like I said from the very first video, there's no special technique that I'm going to give you that's going to be like, do this and I don't know, drink 3 cups of water, and then like your ex or this specific person is suddenly gonna, you know, proclaim their love for you and get down on one knee and propose to you. It's nothing like that. What I'm teaching here, and the law of assumption in general, is all about you and what you generate. It's hard because it doesn't come like, oh, like you just have to, like you don't have to take responsibility, like, oh, if the universe has decided that person isn't for you, or that whatever, then it's fine, like just move on to the next thing. No, like with the law of assumption, it is about you. It is about you and everything that you are doing, and the reason that you don't have something is because you're not generating it within, or you're not generating it within with the right quality and doing it necessarily in the right way. You might think that you are, etc, etc, but you might not be. So when it comes to love, when it comes to manifesting love, if within you feel as if you're such a loving person, like, you know, you feel as if you love yourself, etc, etc, if you're not experiencing that outside of you, if you're not having the experiences that you do experience in your life reflects back to you your self-love, reflect back to you the love that you experience within, then you're not quite generating what you think you are generating. You might just be doing that from a place of trying to fill a void, or you think that you think you're having your thoughts, you think that, but your feelings are completely different. So this week, like I said, we're going to focus on self-love. So let's start off with what self-love is not. So a common misconception, I think, and even something I used to think before, First of all, self-love is not to be confused with self-care. Someone that loves themselves isn't someone that, you know, goes and has a bath every single day and has these like big rituals, or has like the best skincare, or takes themselves on dates, on all that kind of stuff. That is more self, or like just doing like pampering yourself and all that kind of stuff. That is just self-care. Now, self-care is important, but self-love is deeper. Self-love is something that comes from your core and doesn't change regard. It's nothing to, like I said, it's nothing to do with anything outside of you. It's nothing to do with all of like the things you can do outside. Like I said, pampering, getting massages, looking after yourself. That's self-care, and it's important 100%. And it's going to make you feel good about yourself. And with loving yourself, it's going to like, it's going to come with that, but you don't need any of that to love yourself. Self-love is something that you have at your core, and something that is unshakable no matter what. Like you could be in the worst situation of your life. You could have so many people around you that don't like you, don't agree with you, etc., etc. But how you feel about yourself and how you feel towards yourself and how you love yourself should never change. Now, this is something that, of course, if you love yourself and you have self-love, then you wouldn't experience that. So in terms of like an SP, or someone that you're like a specific person, an ex, etc., etc., it should not matter whether, it should not matter whether that person is texting you, calling you, asking to see you, planning dates, whatever. That should not affect how you think and feel, and the thoughts and feelings that you think, the thoughts and feelings that you generate about yourself. That should not affect it. Now, by having self-love and what we're doing here, of course, all of that stuff will come, because how you treat yourself and what you give to yourself is going to be reflected back in what others give to you. So of course that will happen. But just from an understanding, like just for you guys to understand, regardless of those things, and regardless of where you are now, and if we're working on our self-love, we're growing our self-love, we are changing all of that. Those outside things should not matter. It should not be, self-love is not, oh, this person hasn't texted me back, so now like I'm not gonna feel good about myself, I'm not gonna enjoy my life, I'm not gonna do certain things, I'm gonna think badly about myself, I'm gonna feel like I'm not worthy, I'm gonna decide that I'm not important because this person hasn't messaged me, etc., etc. That is not self-love. Not having self-love is choosing not to generate a great self-concept about yourself. That is knowing and feeling and generating the feeling of you being important, you being fulfilled, etc., etc., feeling love towards yourself. Not having self-love is you consciously deciding not to generate that concept about yourself. It's doing things that make you unhappy. It's not having boundaries with people. It's just doing things to please others by not having boundaries. It's allowing people to treat you badly, whether that be verbally, mentally, physically, emotionally, etc., etc. All of those things are not self-love. Like I said, self-care is not self-love, and all of those things that I just mentioned are also not self-love. Now, let's get on to what self-love is. First of all, self-love is a decision. It's a conscious decision. There's nothing that I can tell you outside of that. Like I said, it's something that you consciously have to do. Like there's no quick way around this. There's no like special technique or anything that I can tell you apart from that it is a conscious decision. It's a decision that you make, and you make it consciously. It's not. So another thing that it's not also sitting in the mirror and just telling yourself, I love you, I love you, I love you. That is not self-love. And that's not self-love from the perspective of, if you are doing that and you feel like, okay, I must really love myself because I sit in the mirror and I tell myself that I love myself, and I tell myself that I'm so attractive and all this kind of stuff. But then as soon as that as soon as that person in your life, as soon as anyone in your life comes along and doesn't reply to you, or says something negative about you, or does something that you don't want them to, and then because of that you start now feeling less about yourself, you don't feel worthy, you allow that to affect how you view yourself and how you feel about yourself. That's not self-love. And there's no point sitting there in front of the mirror, like I said, and telling yourself, oh, I love you, etc., etc., if yeah, as soon as someone doesn't message you, as soon as that person doesn't text you back, etc., you then feel terrible about yourself and you don't feel important, you don't feel fulfilled, you don't feel worthy, etc., etc. That is not self-love. Self-love is all of those things could happen. So many things could happen. And it does not change how you feel about yourself. It does not change how you feel about your importance, about you feeling great, about you feeling fulfilled. There should be nothing on this earth and no one that should change how you think and feel about yourself. That is what self-love is. Now, it's not something that is just so like black and white. Like if you don't set boundaries, then you don't love yourself. If you are thinking that you are important, then you like, it's not something that is so easily black and white, but it is something that, like I said, you make a conscious decision about. And you and the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway from it is you realizing that there is no other way. Like if you want to experience all these amazing things, so it's understanding if you want to experience a great relationship, then you need to love yourself. But it's also realizing that you don't need that relationship to experience the love that you are seeking. It should never come from outside of you. It's about you. The initial thing has to be that you are okay with, you completely accept, you completely enjoy, and you unconditionally love and accept yourself, and you enjoy that, you love that. Anything else is a bonus. But the initial thing is that there shouldn't be, like, having someone else and having a relationship and all that kind of stuff is a bonus. The focus and the state of mind you need to get to is that you feel important, you feel great, you feel fulfilled. There's nothing outside of you that is going to change that. There's nothing outside of you that is going to make you feel any less than that. And then, like I said, it will be reflected back to you, and you will get to experience that amazing and great relationship. You will see the change in people around you and the change in how they treat you, because you have changed how you are treating and how you think about yourself. That is the only way. It has to come from you. You can't change anything else. You can't change anything outside of you before and until you change yourself. Because like I have said across these videos, the cause is never the outside. The cause is always your mind. This week, like I said, we're going deeper into the self-love. We are thinking and generating the feelings about ourselves from that place of knowing that there is no other way, and deciding that we are going to generate a great self-concept of ourselves. We are choosing to feel important. We are choosing to feel great. We are choosing and realizing that there is nothing outside of us that should ever cause us to waver that or to make us feel less than that. So this week's task is to go deeper into your self-love, to generate the feelings and the thoughts and all of that, and to put yourself in a position of power, of knowing and understanding. Like I said, from part one, you should by now, or if you're not, obviously go back to part one, but from part one, you would have seen how you generate and you sustain your current reality. You would have seen how you think and feel about yourself within situations regarding love, when it comes to love, etc., etc. And you would have seen how what you are generating within, you are experiencing without. So this week should be a moment of like, oh my gosh, it's that, like this is it. Like I just have to focus on me. And you also need to also know that you're not doing this just to get from the outside. Like, don't come from a position of, okay, fine, I'm gonna focus on my self-love and work on me and think about all these things about me, blah blah blah, because I just want this person to love me. That is you doing it from the wrong place. You're doing it because you want to experience that love for yourself, by yourself. You're generating it for yourself. You're generating it because you want to experience that yourself. You want to generate it for yourself and you want to experience that yourself, but through yourself, not because you want to experience it outside of you. So yeah, this week's task is to go deeper into your self-love. Think, feel, generate that feeling of self-love. And what self-love is you feeling important, you feeling great, you deciding consciously, because like I said, it's always a decision, you consciously deciding in every moment to generate a self-concept of yourself that is great, that you are important, that you are fulfilled, and deciding to do things that make you happy. Set those boundaries because things make you happy. Decide to do things that make you happy. Like I said, we're just building on what we did last week, but we're going deeper, and we're understanding more and more that it is about us, and it's about you generating self-love by yourself and for yourself, and coming from that and understanding that you are doing that from a place of power. It's all about you. It's always about you. So this week is just going deeper into that. I want you to really, in every moment, think of yourself in that way. No matter what happens, no matter whether, like I said, there is an ex there already and you're not hearing from them or whatever, or slow, or even if you are, it doesn't matter whether you are or you aren't. How you feel about yourself, how important you feel, how great you feel, how fulfilled you feel, etc., should not change because of anything outside of you. You should and you have to always generate those feelings regardless of the outside. So this week, no matter what happens, no matter what you are currently experiencing, maintain those feelings about yourself. And we are generating and going deeper into the feelings, the thoughts, etc. of self-love towards ourselves. So yeah, that is it. That is it for this part. We are going deeper, basically. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in part 4.